Yes.
Who encouraged you to write books?
Who encouraged me to write books? Well, first of all, I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather, and they always encouraged me. My grandmother owned many books, to read the books that we had in the house, but also my teachers. I cannot tell you how important my second grade teacher was, Mrs. Matinee. She loved reading, she loved to read to us, and I think that if it had not been for the teachers I had, I never would have been the reader and then the writer that I am today.
This is Evelyn from Esparta.
My question is, how old were you when you started to like music and why?
I began to write in second grade. I mentioned Mrs. Matinee, my teacher. I was in love with her. I was sure when I grew up I'd marry Mrs. Matinee. I mean, she was married already, but her husband was 30 years old. He would surely be dead by the time I was in seventh grade, which is when I figured I'd be able to marry her. So I would write these little poems to her, and like roses are red, violets are blue. Miss Matinee is wonderful. This is so true that I want to share it with all of you. And I would give her my poem. I was the shortest kid in the class. She would take it, and then she would read it aloud. And it made me feel great, except it made other kids jealous of me. And I got beat up once when Mrs. Matinee read one of my poems. My first experience with hostile literary critics. But I remember so clearly how much I loved to write, because when you get an idea and you put it on paper and someone else reads it, it's like they're able to read your mind. It's such a magical thing. So ever since second grade, writing has been a big part of my life.
This is Landon from Bell Avenue School, and he has a question.
Where do you write your books? Do you have a special place where you write?
Oh, good point. Do I have a special place where I write? I do. I have a little cabin, which is on a lake. It's at the end of a dead-end road. We've got 20 acres of land and a 7-acre pond. I don't have a television up there. I don't have a telephone up there. And my computer is not connected to the internet up there. I just use it to write. I get up in the morning and I start to write. It's important to find for yourself the place that feels good to you. It could be in a Starbucks cafe, it could be in the school library, it could be in your room, it could be someplace where there's noise or no noise. But I found the place that was perfect for me, and that's where I do most of my writing.
This is Lily Clinton from Star Avenue School.
My question is, where do you find Native Americans to tell you about the tribe stories?
Where do I find Native American people to tell me about their traditional stories? Everywhere. I have a friend named Simon Ortiz, who is a Native American poet, and one of his poems has the line, "And Indians are everywhere." And believe me, everywhere you go in the United States, you'll find Native American people. Sometimes in recognized communities, such as reservations, but often in urban settings or someplace right down the street from you, in my own hometown, Saratoga Springs, New York. I have many friends who are Native American, and many people I've met over the years. We're in various places around the world and around the country. The most important thing to do is to be a really good listener and to pay close attention. And often you'll find that the stories will find you.
From Matinee School.
What was your reaction when you found out your first book was going to be published?
What was my reaction when I found out my first book was going to be published? It had been rejected more than 20 times by publishers. So when it finally got accepted, I got an acceptance letter. Honestly, I almost wrote a letter back saying, "You appear to have made a mistake. Didn't you really mean to reject this?" I couldn't believe it. It seemed impossible after all that trying. And to this day, whenever I get something accepted, it's always a kind of a happy surprise. But the other point to that is that I did not give up. Don't give up. Keep trying and keep working, because every time I got rejected, I tried to make that book a little better. And remember, if you want to be a writer, you have to write. But if you want anyone to read what you have written, you have to rewrite and rewrite and rewrite and rewrite to make it worth reading.
We have Vincent Castellanos from Bell Island School.
Are you working on a new book right now? And if so, what is it about and where did the idea come from?
I'm actually working on 7 books right now. And one of them is a picture book that comes from a traditional Abenaki story. One is a sort of a detective story with has supernatural elements to it that comes out of Maine Indian traditions in the New England area. One of them is based on the events of the Buffalo War, a war that was fought in 1874 when the tribes of the Southern Plains tried to drive out the buffalo hunters, and the 7th Cavalry, not the 7th Cavalry, the 9th Cavalry, who were primarily African American, were on one side and the Native people were on the other. A very interesting period. I'm working on a novel about how Sequoyah created a syllabary to write the Cherokee language. I'm working on a sequel to a post-apocalyptic novel of mine called Killer Amenities that takes place in the future. It's called Trail of the Dead. And I've also got a new book of poetry called Four Directions that I'm just doing the final revisions on. And all of these will be published within the next year and a half by different publishers.
We have Sarah Bruchac from Patton Elementary School.
What was your experience writing in elementary school?
What was my experience writing in elementary school? Well, first of all, I was encouraged by my teachers. But I have to tell you something which is also true. I discovered that I couldn't just write for my teachers, I also wrote for the younger kids in the class. So I started writing funny stories, and I would pass them around the classroom when we were supposed to be doing other things. And I'd get in big trouble. My teacher would say, "Bruchac, what do you have there?" It's another one of those stories, bring it up here. Bring it up, you know. You're in big trouble, go see the principal. And I take it to the principal's office. I give it to Mr. Sexton, the principal, he'd take it. "Bruchac, you back there again, what do you got there?" I say this. You're in big trouble. But you know, I did. I made the teacher laugh, I made the principal laugh. Cool. So when you write, the thing that gives you the most satisfaction is when other people appreciate it.
Giancarlo from Coyote Ridge Elementary School, and he happens to be the grandson of our founder, Joanne Benducci. He has a question for you.
What are some things in our culture today that are related to your tribe's culture?
What are some things in our overall American culture that are related to the culture of the Abenaki people? Well, language is one thing. Many different words that you speak almost every day in English come originally from the Abenaki language. A lot of animal names like moose, raccoon, skunk, those are all our names for those animals. A lot of place names. The state of Connecticut is Long River, Quamituck, an Abenaki word. Massachusetts, place of many mountains. Mississippi, Mississippi, big river. But also, one of the things that was characteristic of Abenaki culture is that the women played a very central role in leadership, often were chiefs and were representatives of the people. And further, that we followed a very democratic system of government. The New England town meeting, where everybody gets together and makes decisions communally, is based on that model of American Indian governance. And then the food system. Corn and beans and squash, for example, all native plants developed by Algonquin and Iroquois people, are feeding the world. So there are many things that are gifts from the native cultures of the Northeast. We don't just say goodbye, we say, which means, may you have good journeys, my friends. And I wish good journeys to all.